I was like, they go so bad. Like, and for those of you, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, I'm Ray. Matt's here with me. Tom Nutty has some comedy shows tonight, so he's probably not going to be joining us. And Joslyn Jane is going to be our guest later on tonight. As we know, it is Friday the 13th, which is my second favorite holiday, aside from Halloween, because of course you can see my Jason hat that I'm wearing right here. Friday the 13th. So we're going to do a lot of Friday the 13th oriented stuff tonight. Our blind news article reads are going to be Friday the 13th oriented ones. So, that should be pretty cool going along with that. But yeah, I mean, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get right in to our Urban Dictionary term of the night. Let me make sure I have this mouse over here because the camera's in the way. So Urban Dictionary term of the night is multi-slacking, which is doing multiple slacker-esque things concurrently. And the definition is I'm the king of multi-slacking. I spend hours a day surfing the net, watching random TV shows and eating week-old pizza. That sounds like us in high school.
Yeah. No, that's literally my dad life. I've got so many things going on at home.
Yeah.
That including like this project and then that project and then laundry's a fucking mess. So I'm slacking so bad at the dad level right now.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. It's like, it's just so, and we were joking a little bit about before we went live, I'm like, oh, I need to start eating better, all that, my shirts are starting to fit a little bit tighter. Speaking of which, shout out to Scissor Fist and shout out to Matt Fisher, who went to the limit last week in the HHPod Rumble. So that was something. He was in
the top 4, right?
Yeah. He was one of the final 4. And of course, shout out to everybody who took part in that. Right now, it has over 1K views right here on YouTube. Make sure you click the subscribe button for all of our content. And I mean, dude, it definitely went off a lot better than what I thought it would.
It was way better than 100% I expected it to be.
Oh yeah.
But it did how people started coming in at the all at the same time. I knew that was going to happen, but it still actually worked out really well. I was actually very surprised. I was like,
it worked out brilliantly. And I mean, I think what helped out was the balancing of the games is what helped out a lot. And, we had a lot of good quotes. As we know, I had an award system afterwards. You and Justin Schlegel won, the most shocking appearance award, which you came decked out in Ultimate Warrior face paint, which actually your brother had done years ago. Because I remember his Facebook page and our group thing is him wearing that same Ultimate Warrior face paint as that. And then, of course, JC Scott was most resilient because she was also the most revered person. I'm sorry, JC Clark, was from Light Divided, was the most revered person in that Rumble. And she held on to her hot tag for the whole entire duration. And everybody literally, JC had to go and everybody was still talking about her when it was over, of how they were afraid that she was going to win it. Of course, Tommy Simbazo got best, what was it? I forgot what it was, but his award was best what the fuck moment or whatever and all that, because Tommy Simbazo literally answered the Incoherent card, which was throwing a hot dog into a hallway in literally 30 seconds. And we were like, what the hell?
That was actually, I remember that.
Yeah, that was impressive. And Eric was like, don't underestimate his autism. And then Eric had, that was the most shocking moments, him and Eric combined. And then Eric with his answer to the Cards Against Humanity card, oh no, oh my, oh God, here it comes. And then Eric's answer was, when I have to tell my neighbor that I am the neighborhood pedophile. And,
I couldn't believe that. I was like, I think everybody stopped and was like, okay.
But of course, the whole thing is that's live right here on YouTube live. And, man, we got a lot of stuff coming up. Of course, we are getting ready to conclude season 2 very shortly, probably within the next, I think, 3 weeks or so We're going to be concluding season 2, which will go right into season 3 because we air every single week. There is no off season.
There's no breaks.
There's no breaks. Yeah. We don't get any breaks from the insanity that's trapped inside of our minds. But we are going to be having Karen Fisher return to the program. So, of course, she was one of our first guests. She was on episode 8 of the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we've had a lot of people come back. We've had Bob Starr come back. We've had Bubba come back. We've had a handful of people come back. But out of our big, adult film star guests, she's the first, double up that we've had for the adult film stars.
Nice.
So
that should be doing.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot's changed. A lot has happened since COVID. People can go back out, do things now. Unless you're Jason Voorhees, you don't really have to wear a mask anymore. But that's the whole thing. But I mean, dude, let's get into it. And I'm going to ask Joslyn this when she comes into it. Of course, Friday the 13th, tonight is Friday the 13th. They're going to be playing the movies online. If you were in a Friday the 13th movie and you were to be killed by Jason, now, of course, we see those movies, we see all the characters involved. What character do you think you would be? Because I know exactly what character I would be before being slayed by that psychotic hockey. Do you want me to go first? Or
go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I think I would be the drunk guy that would be drinking all night, that would go out and piss near the lake. And then next thing I turn around and I have my head knocked off by a boat oar. And that's the whole thing.
That's a legit scene.
No, but I feel like that's the character I would be. The drunk guy that wanders outside and pisses in there, or the guy that sees Jason coming and he's like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Or whatever. And all that, like, what a cool mask. And then fucking gets brutally killed. I feel like you'd be the stoner.
Yeah.
Like you'd be the stoner that would be getting high and you would be like, come on, man, get high with me or whatever. And he just rips the bottom of your fucking my jaw off. Yeah. Just completely just
I probably would be the guy that gets caught on the shitter. Because that's just my luck.
Yeah, they've done that in one of the movies. There was a guy that was in an outhouse.
Well, then that's me. Yeah, I'm taking a shit. It's like, bro, come on, man.
Bro, why are you doing this?
On the shitter, packing my bowl. What are you doing, man? Just
dude. Speaking of which, we're moving our offices at my job, and the bathrooms aren't ready yet, so they have 2 porta potties outside. And
I hate porta potties.
Yeah, I was sitting there, the Mexicans that are there, they just completely destroyed that bathroom.
Oh yeah,
they literally rocket fired shit all over the fucking But I sat there and I looked, and I never really realized it until I was walking up a set of steps at my new office. Is that every porta potty has a little vent that's on the top of it that I guess drains whatever toxins out of the top. And it made me think, I'm if one of your friends is in that porta potty and you drop a set of firecrackers or a Roman candle down that pipe, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna go off and scare them, or is it gonna be a fucking nuclear bomb?
I would imagine going off. Just gonna fling shit everywhere.
Well, I mean, you gotta realize too that if that happens, and when that happens, you have all that gas and all that shit that's just building up in there. And did I ever tell you the story? And I'm not sure if I shared this on a podcast or not. Did I ever tell you the story of the kid who came into my high school saying he was going to blow it up, and he had M80 strapped to his ankles, and he blew his ankles off? Yeah, there was this weird kid. I forgot his name. And, in case anybody at home from Dundalk High School is watching this that can confirm or deny this, because this is a story I always heard. I forgot the kid's name, but it was some weird kid who wasn't around much. Yeah. And he came into the school with M80s taped around his ankles with a list of demands. And he said that, and he had one of those fucking grill starting lighters or whatever. And he was better. If you don't do it, I'm going to blow the school up. And they were just kind of looking at him is this a joke? I mean, just imagine that. He just walks into the office and you're just can I help you? Pulls out that little fucking lighter. And he's just you're going to fucking pay. Make me do my fucking homework. and he just lights them up. Like,
and he blows his ankles off.
Just fucking imagine that. Like, he blows his ankles off and he's just laying on the ground with just fucking his fucking ankle bone sticking out with fucking blood just shooting fucking everywhere. And it's like, what in the actual fuck is happening right now? Like, what actually is being
that kid's parents? Just so like, oh, you couldn't even do terrorism, right?
Oh, there was a kid. I wasn't sure what his name was, but he was like, you ever see one of those kids? And no offense to kids that are like this or people that are like this that are out there.
Oh no, very
but
offensive.
They have moles all over their body. Like, he literally had moles all over his face. He kind of looked like, you ever see the people that have like, he kind of looked like he had leprosy a little bit. Like, he had moles everywhere, and people would fuck with him religiously. Like, he was this big, like, fat lumberjack looking kid that, like, I always sat there and looked at him and I was like, I'm not saying a word to that dude, because that dude is going to be like the guy from Billy Madison and have a list of people that I want to kill. And then one day I'm going to need this guy to shoot somebody in my defense. So, like, people are fucking with this dude. And he just got up and, like, he literally got up and was like, I'm tired of this shit, and threw a desk from one point of the room to the other point of the room. And it was one of the most impressive feats of strength that I had seen in high school.
Did everyone clap? And they're just
no, everybody was just kind of like, oh, and they were like, let's say his name was Bobby. They're like, Bobby, get out of here right now. And he's just like, oh, I'm tired of all this shit. And like, yeah. And
did he talk like that too?
He talked very weird. I'm not sure if it was like that, but a lot has happened. There's been a lot of alcohol and a lot of, concussions and stuff like that I've had to endure since all of this has happened.
But moles though, can't you just like wear a bunch of makeup and just cover that?
I mean,
up?
You could.
I mean,
but it
makeup
would look like,
nowadays.
It would look like really big. Like, it would look like, indents coming out of your face. It would still be weird, but it wasn't like ordinary moles. It wasn't like birthmark type moles. It was like, it looked like a fucking peeling scab type mole, like a big mole that had like hair growing out of it.
I mean, I'm just saying, because makeup nowadays is just so advanced.
Yeah. Well,
like,
I mean, if that's me, I'm just taking a razor blade to my face. Like, those things probably had a blood supply, but if I have something like that, I'd rather just shave those completely off. Like, Jess gets mad a lot that I'll have like whiteheads and blackheads, and I take my razor and I'm just like, just goodbye, see you later. And she's like, I could have popped that or whatever. I'm like, why go through? And she doesn't understand. Like, she calls me a bitch. Like, does Kim pop your pimples or whatever?
No.
Like, oh, Jess will fucking pop that shit, and she will squeeze so fucking hard. And I'm like, ow. And she's like, it doesn't hurt. I'm like, you're not on the other end of it.
Baby.
Like, yeah. And I'm like, you're not on the other end of this. Like, you're trying to kill me through popping a pimple right now. Like, this is what it is.
Actually, a buddy at work was trying to show me a video of, I don't know, it was on TikTok or something. Somebody was getting their assist. Assist.
Yes.
Getting that shit popped and like squeezing it out. And I said, I can't. I was like, I can't watch that stuff.
I can't.
I can watch some really disgusting stuff. That no.
Yeah.
Please.
No.
Please get that away from me.
Yes. Please assist yourself out of here. Please assist me and get out of here.
The first like 2 seconds of it, once it started like shooting out like confetti or like silly string, I was like, no, dude.
You sit there and
watch it.
You get one like right there, like near your like on your thigh, near your balls. You just put your leg up on the table and you just look at your wife and you're like, I need assistance. Like, I need assistance. I mean, I don't know.
A lot of those money shots look like that. Like it could be.
Oh, dude, I've had some like whiteheads where Jess popped it and like fucking like pus would just fucking fly out. And that's another reason why I grow this out a lot, is a lot of times I'll get like whiteheads or whatever and my beard just covers them up, and then I'll shave and I'll be like, I thought acne was gone. Like, I thought I was out of my acne phase. Like, what is this?
Right.
What is happening right now?
I can't speak to that because like I haven't shaved since fucking, I don't know. I haven't had a clean shaved face since I was in like high school. So
I clean shave every so often, and that's mainly when I get like right now, like I'm super annoyed with my beard and I want to shave, so I just want to clean shave. But I need to razor shave anyways, and normally I make the person cutting my hair do it anyways. So they're just like, oh well, an extra $8 will take off your beard. Sold. Like that is very easy sell right there.
Well, I mean,
because I'm lazy. Like,
right. It's like when I was in high school, it was like I couldn't wait to fucking grow a beard. I always thought beards were so cool. So once I fucking finally grew one, I was like, I'm never shaving again. Dude, I don't see the point.
I hated it. Like when I first started to grow my beard, like my beard would grow and it would be like patchy. Like I would have like a patch that like wasn't here and a patch that wasn't here, and I would shave and shave and shave and shave and shave, and it would still kind of look like a cow. Like it would still kind of look like a cow spot on my face, and I'm like, why is this happening to me?
Well, for the longest time, honestly, I couldn't really grow like a thick like hair like around here.
Yeah.
So all this I could grow out. So I had mutton chops in high school for like a year.
Yes, you had the mutton.
Yes, dude, they were thick. They were like Elvis Presley.
You laid that shit on thick.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought they were fucking cool, but apparently they weren't cool. Yeah. But you know, I thought they were.
I thought, and of course we all have seen the photo on our photo burn segment when we were doing of me with the curly, luscious long, luscious blonde hair that everybody thought was a wig, but it was real. Like it was real, damn it. Like that was my, and here's the thing. Girls in high school used to get pissed because when my hair was dry, it'd be like ringlets. Like basically like almost like curly Sue like ringlets or whatever. God. And like girls would be like, oh my God, like, do you curl your hair? And I'm like, no, this is real. And they're like, I wish I could get curls like that. Real. Yeah. Listen to me, Linda. Like, yeah. Look, if you
don't get mad at me because your shit ain't natural.
Look, don't come in here with fucking M80s attached to your ankles because my hair is natural like this and yours isn't. And like I always sat there and I always thought, like when my hair was like ringlet like that, I always thought that if I let my ball hair grow out too much, that it would ringlet like that. Like I was like, I'm just like, I'm gonna look down and like, you ever see like a hippie that gets like those dreadlocks and like it's just like all like matted together and shit.
That shit? It's like the fucking rabbis. Fucking you just had that draped across your nutsack.
Did you imagine that? Like someone get like you go to get a blowjob and someone just drapes that thing.
Somebody just zips your pants and they're just like staring at like,
what's that?
It's Shalom.
they just look and they're like, who is this? It's like, this is Rabbi Bob. And that's what you're about to be doing. Some bobbing.
Impressive.
Yeah. Actually, we got to hold on to that. Remember the rabbi locks, and we will ask Joslyn if she would ever, if she went down and someone had rabbi locks, like what that would be like, because like that like honestly I'll give it to the Jewish people. That's fucking impressive. Mm-hmm. Like for them to keep their hair so maintained but also have like this random patch of hair right here that hangs down and curls. That's fucking impressive. Like I wish I had that kind of dedication in anything in my life, much less having a random that like they had a mutton chop that they let grow out.
That's what I should see.
And they fucking that's what you should have.
I should have done. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm one of these days. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And it's just I'm gonna shave all this and I'm gonna just It's gonna look like little curly fries hanging from my fucking cheeks.
I always wanted to sit there and like just grow just this patch of hair right here, like coming off of the bottom of my lip. I wanted to like grow that out like ZZ Top, like all the way down. Like that's not a goatee. That's not the goatee. Like the goatee is like right here. But what is like this? Like
soul patch.
Soul patch, yes. But you grow the soul patch out, or like what you do is you like have like your neck hair run up and go this way to that, and then that just like grows down. Like that would be grade A fucking. And I gotta find some of the photos. I'm going through my Google photos. Me and Jess are going through our Google photos because last week unfortunately one of our dogs passed away, and we had to have him put down. So we're going through our Google photos looking for old photos of him. And I like my Google photos have saved so much shit. Like I saved so many images to use for the show. So there's all kinds of shit in that Google photos, but I always come across photos that I send to Jess of like when I'm like mid shave, and like I'll leave like just like a patch of hair right here, or I'll leave my mustache when it's like long like this. And pretty much what it'll be is it'll look like that I'm like a fucking pedophile. Like I just have like that mustache.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen that photo. I think you sent it to me one day.
Yeah, and it's just the look of,
Yeah, you look like a creep.
Yeah. But I mean,
you look like you would hang around at the fucking porta potties.
There was one time
holding people up with fucking M80s.
we partied one night, and one of my friends, my friend Chris, he's actually been on the podcast. Shout out to Chris if he's checking this out at any point. He shaved his head like an old man's head. Like pretty much like he had his hair and he shaved like a bald spot in the middle of his head, and all he had was just like the hair going around. Yeah. So he did that on the top, and then our other friend Bobby did a mohawk, and like his mom came home the next day and she was just kind of like, what the fuck? Not to mention, that was one of the first times, like we were still, I think we were 18, 19, something like that. And they had first started getting me to drink. Like I used to be straight edge. I didn't do anything. I did drugs. I didn't drink. And they got me to start drinking. And I was like passed out in her bathtub, like naked. And I had thrown up all over her couch. So they had to replace like the couch cushions or whatever. And yeah, it was just fucking madness. And that I was telling someone the other day, now that I bring up Dundalk High School, like I was joking around, I was with my coworker and I looked at him, I was like, dude, like we were driving through Dundalk and I was like, dude, you don't realize how much blood, sweat, and sperm of mine is in this town. Like instead of blood, sweat, and tears, blood, sweat, and sperm. Yeah. And I mean, there's just so much shit that we got into in Dundalk. And just the bar life there, and just at Dundalk, people from Dundalk have three terms. You're crazy, you're cool, or you're redneck. And if you have like all three of those like mixed together or whatever, like and white trash also, there's a lot of white trash there, so you have to have all four of those in like one happy medium to be a true Dundalkian. And you understand, and like people from Dundalk are known for being crazy, and that's why when we share a lot of our stories, a lot of which I wish I could tell on here, but I don't know what the statute of limitation is for some of those stories. So we can't share a lot of those stories because a lot of them could very well be unclosed police files, because they're just kind of like, oh, that asshole did that. I will say this. We did, like, close to your house, there's a bar close to your house. It's near where, it's not far from where BJ's is, off of Bel Air Road. It's like right on Bel Air Road, like kind of across, like from where
is it by like where the Denny's was?
Yes, it's by where the Denny's was. And
I know
we went in there. Yeah, it's like right on the road. And we went in there and for my birthday, and we stole all the glasses in there. We stole all the pool balls. We stole some bar mats, and someone jumped up on the sign and ripped the sign off the wall and took that. And unfortunately, somebody was taking pictures and they got posted to Facebook, and the bar followed them. And then the bar was like, yeah, we need to bring all this shit back. And we were like, oh. So me and my buddies gathered everything up, what we could, because some people kept some of the bar mats, some people kept some of the glasses. We're like, this is all we could find. We're sorry. And they're like, we've owned this bar for over 30 years. And yeah, you guys did more damage in this bar than what we've seen in the last 30 years or whatever. We're like, well, we'll pay for whatever. Like, we'll pay to have your sign put back up. Here's your stuff. We're sorry. And he's like, oh, yeah, you guys are definitely going to pay for this. I should sue or whatever. And I mean, they were pretty fucking cool. And then right after we were done, my friend Bobby's like, can we have the videotape of that? Because I just want to like watch it back. And he's like, get out of my bar and don't come back in here. And they, to this day, have never contacted us about paying for that fucking sign that hung out front.
So what did you guys just pull up in a truck and just dump all their shit off? Like, here's your guys' stuff.
Yeah, for the most part. Like, we had like a ragged ass box. And we put it all in. And we went there. It was during one of the infamous short bus trips that we had, that we do for my birthday every single year. And it was just completely fucking insane.
Right. I'm trying to think. Is that the same bar that somebody got their throat slit right outside?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
It was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. Well, I'll give you a hint. And this will narrow it down. It ends with pub.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Cool.
Yes,
because that could be numerous places. So yes,
that's the one that I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
I remember a few years ago, a guy was found, I think, in his truck and had his throat slit.
I heard about. Yeah,
that same bar.
Oh man, like I wonder, like the dude had his throat slit though. Like he was found in his truck. So I wonder if it was like the whole horror movie type. Like I wonder if someone had like the dedication to lay in his back seat. Like the
Right. I
entire
feel
like this guy's in the bar drinking for hours, and you're just sitting there laying, sweating, almost passing out in this
like,
guy's back seat. And then when he comes up, you just like arise up and just,
right
just
there,
right
well,
across.
allegedly, I don't know how true any of this, because there's, once rumors start circulating, I think he had like duct tape
Oh,
like around his like throat
oh,
to like to try to stop it from bleeding.
oh. So did he put duct tape around his own throat?
I don't know. Maybe he was
So
dying.
wait,
And
so
just,
that's the thing. Like now I'm intrigued. It's like, so is this dude a construction worker? Like who drives around with duct tape? Because I don't have duct tape in my car. I have a lot of
know.
boxes and I have a lot of other random shit in my car.
Well, again,
but
it's
I don't
rumor,
have
so
duct
I don't
tape,
really know
so,
if any of that's true.
like,
so.
you know how you say put pressure on like a wound to like close it off?
Right.
What if you do that with your neck? Like you're going to kill yourself because you're strangling yourself to death at that point.
Well, no, it's you keep your throat, you got to keep pressure on it, but fortunately you're losing.
You just put
so
your
much
thumb
blood.
in your throat. You just shove your
Well,
thumb.
you can.
You fist your own throat.
If it's a
puncture,
like
this deep into your own throat, like, and then you smack your elbow to make it go deeper in.
Well, see, now you're ruining it. But I'm just no, but like with a puncture, you can try to keep it, but fortunately, you need to go to the hospital straight away.
Yeah,
or you're gonna die.
And what we're gonna do real quick, we're gonna jump into one of our blind news article reads, and the first one is man wearing hockey mask robs and shoots victim. So it says a man wearing a hockey mask shot and robbed a 52-year-old man early Sunday morning on Detroit's east side, police said. Well, that's kind of not surprising. It's fucking Detroit. That's almost as bad as saying it happened in Baltimore. Actually, we just had a guy with a fucking what was a fucking assault rifle or some shit, like fire off 60 rounds like for somewhere. And said,
oh yeah.
So
we're talking about that at work.
It said the victim had pulled into his garage and was getting out of his vehicle when he was approached by a young man, possibly 17 or 18, who ordered the victim to give up everything he had. Well, I was hoping that some of these stories, because they're Friday the 13th oriented, that some of these would actually be Jason Voorhees. This, however, cannot be Jason Voorhees because he doesn't order people to do it. He doesn't talk. So this definitely is not the real Jason. So I said the victim had pulled into the suspect wore a red hoodie with a white hockey mask and carried a 9mm pistol. Well, Jason doesn't use guns, so police described him as African-American between 5'11" and 6 foot tall, 200 pounds with an afro, dark skin, and appeared to be clean shaven. That looked like my character from San Andreas.
Right.
I wonder if
that's pretty legit.
Yeah,
I like that. He kept the fro. And
that's
like pretty awesome.
Clean shaven and all that. Like it said, rather than give up everything he had, the victim struggled with gunman and was shot twice in each leg. Wait, so was he shot twice, once in each leg, or did the dude shoot him twice in each leg? Like he shot him in like his thigh and then like his kneecap or some shit. And it says his cell phone was stolen during the fight as well. The suspect was last seen running between houses in the neighborhood. Jason does not run. So, I mean, this guy he cannot pin any of this on Jason Voorhees. So that's our first blind news article read, Friday the 13th themed for tonight. And Joslyn Jane is actually in the room, so we will go ahead and admit her in right now to the show, and we will go ahead and rock and roll with Joslyn Jane once she's fully into the room right here on YouTube Live on the Happy Hour podcast. Oh, that's a cool little image she has there for her Zoom image. So
Can you guys see me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Are you doing just?
No, I'm not. But
there's a picture of you.
Yeah, there's a picture.
Yeah. All right, let me try to call.
If I hit this, if this will help. Here, let's see if that'll help. Because sometimes if people click that, the video will fire right up. That looks like Hey, there we go. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome Joslyn Jane to our program. Of course, it is Friday the 13th, right on the Happy Hour podcast. And Joslyn, of course, you're an adult film star, and we saw some of your stuff, and you do Officer Joslyn, and it made me. Is that correct? Is Officer Joslyn or Officer Jane?
Jane, yeah.
Officer Jane. And it made me think, like, your uniform looks a little bit like the Baltimore City Police uniform. And it made me think.
They look like real uniform. We actually got the cops called on us.
Really?
Oh,
really?
Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing in the middle of Hialeah doing these chase scenes? One guy, so there was this guy came out of his house. He talked to my producer. He was like, "Do you have a permit?" The guy was like, "Fuck you, we're filming." and the dude called the cops on us. So like we all had to run inside the car, and then the director and the producer dealt with it.
Wow. And there's a show that just started on HBO Max, and we're a huge fan of it. Of course, it's based right here in Baltimore. It's called We Own the City. It's about the gun task force that were doing all this
running guns.
Yeah, they were running guns. They were stealing drugs from people and setting them up and all that shit. It's called We Own the City. And I was like, someone should parody this show and call it We Fuck This City. And that will be a great knockoff of the show. Of course, starring John Barenthal. So if anybody's out there, make sure you catch that. Make sure you catch that on HBO Max. And Joslyn, how did you, like, with the adult industry? Of course, how did you get into it? What were you doing before you were in adult film?
I was doing kind of a little bit of everything. I was a tutor. I was a promotional model, and I was just trying to kind of find my way. Like, I went to college and thought that, it would help me and that I would be like this 9-to-5 person, but I definitely wasn't. So I definitely had to figure out, like, why are you here and what job are you going to do? Because someone's got to give. And an extra for like a few scenes, and basically one day I just walked into the Bang Bros studio, and they took pictures of me, and I put my hair up and I was their cop, and I got a contract out of it, so the rest is kind of history.
Nice. And now with the cop stuff, do you have a lot of creative freedom with that yourself as well? Like, can you make suggestions on how some of the stuff goes?
That site was canceled. So I was on contract. It was canceled though. So I don't own I can do my own Officer Jane. I can kind of play off of that. But Officer Jane is like sort of her own separate entity. If people want like custom and stuff like that, I do that. But I don't want to get pigeonholed too. So like, I don't want to get stuck into a lot of people can get, you get caught in a typecast. Yeah. And I didn't want that either. Like, I can switch, but I can also be very submissive. So, but because of my size, it's kind of unbelievable because it's like, well, she wanted to fuck you up and, but yeah. So yeah. It's, there's that issue of getting typecast, which no one wants. Yeah. So, I did it for like a year or two, and then I kind of moved away. Like, my ManyVids name is Officer Jane, but a lot of my content is just MILF stuff, and it's more on the dominant side, but I wouldn't say it's like the officer thing, it obviously has issues. Yeah. The issues with it. So, there are people in the industry who like will not shoot with me. Really? Because but like very few. Yeah. Very few.
I mean, unfortunately that happens.
You can't make everyone happy. Not everyone's gonna
like you. Yeah, not everybody.
Feel that they're intimidated by you, or
I wonder if that's what it is. I wonder if it's intimidation. Yes, I wonder if it's just intimidation.
I find this funny. So I'm like pretty good friends with Sarah J, and we talk about this a lot. But I was just with her recently, and she was like, when we all first met you, like we didn't know if you wanted to fuck us or fight us. Like we just not know what you were doing. like your face is intense. Like we couldn't figure it out. Like you weren't bothered, but they were like, Sarah was, you're a weirdo.
And that would make an awesome like little series that you could do, like a fuck or fight. Like you show up somewhere and it's like, is she gonna fuck this person or is she gonna fight this person? Like even if it's not like a little TikTok thing, yeah.
Over the years, like throughout my and especially like since I've gone in the industry, like the way that men hit on me is very funny. And a few weeks ago, I was with a group of my friends and a guy came up to me, and we see, the thing is that my friends, like, we don't know why they're coming up to me. We don't know if they know who I am or if like moms with big boobs, like we can't figure it out. So like my friends are always like, we let you figure it out. So this guy comes up and he's talking to a friend of mine. I had like moved away and I went like this, like I like whipped my hair around and he like winced. And I was like, what? And he was like, I thought you were going to hit me. And I was like, well, should I?
Like, is there a reason why I should beat the shit out of you? And with you,
like, so it's, people are definitely by me though. I think for sure. People definitely like when I go places, like people stare at me a lot and like
really?
Look at that. They don't like if they approach me, like they have balls for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you don't mind me asking, how tall are you roughly?
I'm 5'9".
5'9".
Okay. So
that's that's about my height. I mean, I'm not a very tall guy. I'm about 5'7".
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I've had this discussion before about people that are like taller than me because I don't really like to, mess with girls that are taller than I am because I'm afraid of getting body slammed.
Matt is intimidated by tall women.
Well, I am.
He watched a 50-foot woman when he was a child and he thought it was a horror movie and he cried himself to sleep every night after that.
I mean, like, well, because growing up, like the cutoff was like 6 foot. I don't think I could be with a girl that was like over 6 foot tall.
I could.
I mean, because
I'll do 8 foot. Like I don't like.
I mean, because you imagine how long their legs are.
Well,
and you look like you have long legs.
Like
like I couldn't imagine trying to lift one of those up. Because
you don't work out.
I would be crushed.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't be fair.
Like Matt's like, I'm too weak. I am too weak.
I mean, I'd give it my damnedest.
Yeah.
But, I tried. But
listen, like, definitely dated guys in my 20s that like, and I'm from Miami, and so like I'm taller than most men here. I definitely like tower over the women, but I definitely am taller than most men.
Right, because that for a woman that's pretty tall.
Yeah. Well, and the fucked up thing is that my dad and my brother and all my they're like 6'4", 6'5". So like to me, I'm short.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like a little But I've dated guys like in my 20s that were, like 5'7", and they're like, you can't wear heels out. I don't want people to think I'm tall. I'm like, they have eyes. Like they can, like I'm already too tall. And it's funny because like my director and I have this conversation all the time because I just shot a scene with J-Mac the other day, and because of the way that my hair was, I looked really tall, and J-Mac had to step out, and he was like, I just want to make sure I look taller than her. And I was like, you guys, like,
I'm not that tall, damn it.
Why? Yeah, I'm like, you are taller than me, but like my hair sometimes can like give me a few extra inches and shit like that. But to me, like height isn't really that important, but I do know that like some men, it like bothers them, but you can't help your height. Like you are the way, you're born the height you're born.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're all the same height laying down, really,
And of course, it's Friday the 13th. So are you familiar with the Friday the 13th franchise, all those movies that and now we were talking about this a little bit earlier. If you were in a Friday the 13th movie and you were one of the victims, what kind of victim would you be? Like, for example, like I would be the guy that would probably wander out near the lake, take a piss, turn around, Jason's there. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And then get my head knocked off with a boat oar. Matt would obviously be the high guy that would probably try to offer him drugs.
Yeah.
If you were a victim, what type of victim do you think you would be in Friday the 13th?
The high one trying to figure out anything else I can give him besides my life. Like, like I know, like, I have a caravan of hoes. Come on. Like, what do you mean? But also, too, if he didn't want to compromise, I'd probably be that person that would just, like, go to the lake and be like, this is my fate. So,
yeah. I'm just gonna, just let it happen. I'm gonna embrace this. And it's actually funny because in those movies, people have tried to give him everything in the world. Someone tried to give him their wallet. He actually was offered sex at one point. That was in Jason X, the hologram sex.
I'd blow him. I'd be like, dude, I'll blow you.
Matt be like, give me that zombie dick. Like, just pull that zombie dick out right now. Let me just have some fun with that.
I don't know, like. Yeah, but sometimes too, like I have this feeling, like I've had people like say shit to me before, like very threatening, and I'm like, okay, well then do it. If you're gonna do it, then do it. So,
right, so you'd have been the one that Jason X tossed around in the sleeping bag.
Yeah, sleeping bag death is the best death.
That is really good.
Yeah.
I love that one.
And what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into another blind news article read, which is Friday the 13th. Themed, and it says it's a traffic fright. Man wearing Friday the 13th style hockey mask forces cars to a standstill while standing at a Tesco roundabout. All right, so what is this? So this says wearing a Jason style hockey mask from Friday the 13th, an unidentified film fan stopped passing cars in Trideville. What the hell is Trideville? On Saturday afternoon, looking terrifying and standing perfectly still, the man stared at passing motorists from a grass verge looking over a Tesco extra superstore in Station Yard. Drivers almost collided in fear after encountering the spine-tingling cosplay. Could you imagine? Like, it's like starting to get dark outside, and you're just driving. You just see this dude dressed up like Jason, like standing in a fucking middle of like a roundabout or something. Like, people can't drive in a roundabout as it is. Not to mention seeing this dude. And it says one was Leon Nichols, who took a picture of the man standing still on the side of the road. I couldn't believe my eyes. My cousin was driving, and all I could see was this man in a Jason mask staring at traffic. We drove around the roundabout twice to do a double take. Let's see what this dude looked like. Like, I don't think he looked that bad. That dude definitely does not look like Jason. These people are. All right, so look, this is what it is. This is what the dude looked like. Like that dude has like long hair. Like, he's wearing a trench coat and like a fucking satchel. Like, look, he has a fucking satchel on.
Yeah.
That's not fucking Jason. Like, what the fuck is that? That's scary and intimidating. That just looks like the fucking Cowardly Lion wearing a fucking hockey mask or whatever. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? So
I mean, I don't know. If I saw that driving, I'm usually, I'd probably be high, and
yeah.
I listen to metal, so it's like I'll be like, hell yeah, it's fucking Jason, bro.
Yeah, and it depends on my mood too. So like, I live in Miami, so like sometimes jokingly, but like not really jokingly, my friends and I are looking at each other and be like, okay, we're gonna do GTA mode. We're like, okay, we're gonna do GTA mode. Fuck these pedestrians.
Yeah, it's funny because you're in Miami, so you have the elusive Florida man. So Florida man is deeply like his whereabouts in Florida are just all over the place with all kinds of stuff of the Florida man.
Crazy shit. The other recently, some football player like just like tragic. Like, people go to Florida and like tragic shit just happens to them. Like it's fucked up, and they lose their minds and shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it's equated to. Like, maybe Vegas, like when I was 21, it's kind of like the same thing, but
if you want to see people lose their minds, I don't know if you've ever been to Baltimore, but come to Baltimore and go to like the inner city of Baltimore.
Never been to Baltimore, but I'm a huge fan of The Wire. I've seen every episode like 25 times.
Oh yeah, The Wire is the shit, dude. I still watch.
Yeah, actually, the people who did The Wire.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. So like, here's the thing. Like, I definitely, like, I love to travel and go to places, But my whole thing is like, there's certain cities where like I need to be chaperoned.
Yeah. Baltimore's not a good place to be.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Baltimore,
Baltimore is nice. You just need to be the fuck out of the city by nightfall. Like that's the thing. Like the nightlife pretty much doesn't exist in Baltimore anymore.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because one of my cousins actually went to medical school in Baltimore. And I was talking to her and her husband a few months ago, and he was telling me how much it fucked him up. So
let's talk about the story.
All right. So he said it completely fucked him up. Like they were going home from dinner with friends, and he was like, it's late at night, like we should get an Uber. And they're like, oh, it's Philly, like we're fine, we can walk. And he was like, oh yeah, fuck, we're not in Baltimore anymore. Like he keeps having
like that Baltimore mindset. Yeah.
That because he's like, you're like, oh wait, I'm not here anymore. But I mean, it's definitely a thing. Like there's definitely shit I do in Miami, like in my city, that I wouldn't do in Vegas. I wouldn't do in, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, we just had a news article here. There was a guy down in the city. He pulled out a high-powered like machine gun and just fired 60 rounds off and like wounded multiple people. And like,
I think he only hit 4 people.
He hit 4 people. 2 died, and there was also a little kid that got shot. That they said that if she dies, that's 3 people. Like our city's just completely out of control. But The Wire, the people who did The Wire, do that show on HBO Max called We Own the City. So like if you want to see the craziness in Baltimore, definitely watch that. Like it is insane.
Are you a sports fan?
Oh, I saw that you were recently at the National Football Hall of Fame that you went to recently. Yeah. Huge sports fan. Baseball than football.
Oh, you like baseball more than you like football?
Yeah. So how was the Football Hall of Fame? I've never had a chance to get up there and see it.
Like if you like football, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, like there's definitely some women like in the corner like twiddling their thumb. Like it's, you know, you're going like, but it's to see how much the sport has evolved.
Oh yeah.
And also what I think is fascinating, right? Because like, you know, I'm a little bit of a bigger person. I find like people and like athletically gifted people to just be fascinating. Like I find, you know what I mean? Like I find Kawhi Leonard to be fascinating just because he's like such a gigantic human being and he's so, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm just like into it. But and in Canton now they play games.
Really?
You can go, to the football.
Right, they have the Hall of Fame games. Yeah.
And you can go and watch a game. Like it's cool.
That's
like
cool. That's real cool. And are you a Browns fan? It looked like you were wearing a Browns jersey.
Yes, I'm a Browns fan and I'm also a Cowboys fan, but a lot of my friends are Browns fans, so I have a lot of their merch and shit like that.
And we're Browns fans, but we're the old Browns fans, which are the Browns that left Cleveland and came to Baltimore and became the
Ravens. Okay, so Lamar Jackson, but okay, and who else? Humphrey, right?
Marlon Humphreys. Yeah, Marlon
Justin
Humphrey.
Tucker.
Yeah. Justin Tucker.
I told you that story when I met Justin Tucker, didn't I?
Wasn't that when we were wasted at World of Beer and we were having the bubble gun fight outside and you ran by Justin Tucker?
Well, no, like I wanted to go into the bathroom and I noticed this big black guy who was, I guess, his bodyguard.
Yeah.
Was standing like with his arms crossed outside. I went to go in the bathroom. He's like, wait, hold up. And I was all like, okay. So I stood there for like a second and then Justin Tucker walked by me. I was I was drunk, so I didn't know really who it was until I got into the bathroom. I, started peeing, and then I realized I was like, holy shit, that was Justin Tucker. I just immediately sit myself up, ran out there, start chasing Justin.
Not washed hands, nothing like that. No. Didn't wash your hands, just zip right up to
I was drunk. I didn't care. I was like, fuck it, I don't give a shit. When you're in that mindset, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. And like it's crazy.
So, I'm trying to see. So I Jalen Rose, like out in the wild. But like here's the thing, like I don't really approach celebrities because I feel weird about it. Like, I don't like, I feel like they have the right to like go out and like,
oh yeah,
wear themselves. Well, when I saw Jalen Rose specifically, it was in a bar, and we were like, there was a game going on, so he was watching the game. And then, I was in New York, so all these Knicks fans start crowding around and and I'm like, oh, great. Like, they're telling him he already knows. Like, he already knows the Knicks are fucking off. You don't need to tell him. He knows the Knicks are bad. Like, he's an analyst for ESPN. Like, leave him alone. Like, these New Yorkers who just kept like talking, and I felt so bad for him. I was like, poor Jalen Rose. I hope he can like finish his meal.
It's crazy with stuff like that. I mean, I come from the world of pro wrestling. I did pro wrestling for 20 years. And a lot of the guys that I knew, they were just kind of like, most of them would sign any autographs that they want. But if you fucked with them while they were eating, they would not, like, afterwards, they'd be like, look, I'm just trying to eat. Like, I don't care. I'll sign whatever for you. But you also get a lot of these fans that stalk celebrities or sport athletes, and they show up at the airports or their hotels or whatever and wait for them to arrive to get pictures, autographs, and that shit.
And it's so funny because, like, my friends and we talk about that constantly. Like, okay, like, if you're gonna post like where you've been, like if you've been at a Heat game,
you
have to post when you leave, because if I post that I'm there, people aren't necessarily going to follow me, but they're going to look for me. They're going to bother me on DMs, like asking me where I am. You know what I mean? Or like, I did actually have an incident with a friend of mine a few years ago. We were at a game together, and she was dressed crazy. When I go to games, I dress in a Heat shirt. Like, I put a hat on. I don't want fucking anyone to come up to me. But my friend, very much looked like an adult film star, if that makes sense. Her brow, like, okay, we got it. You got the goods. We got it.
And you're like, God damn it, I don't want to be talked to. Why?
No, it's like that. My other thing is like, listen, like, I'm a girl and I get it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, the women who go to games like dressed up complete. I get it. Like, I get that you like, and trust me, I grew up in Miami. Women are like that. They just get dressed up all the time to go to the grocery store. And I get it. But at the same time, like, it's like, we're not here to see you. We're here to see them play a game. You can be cute. Like, you don't have to be like all sexy with all your fucking skin exposed. Like, that's my whole thing with women at those games. It's like, you don't have to be, like, we don't have to see 90% of your skin, like, so in that particular instance, I was with a friend. So I was with my porn friend. I was with my a Miami friend, and he noticed that a couple of like little high school boys were following us, and we had to kind of like duck and then like wait for them to leave, and then we like ran away. But I told her, I was like, put a fucking shirt on, like, put a shirt, like, know your audience. Like, we're not in a porn convention. We're at a fucking sports convention, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? Like,
oh man, those high school boys went home and wore themselves out. After that, boys. I'm sure they went home. They probably went in the bathroom at the game and wore themselves out.
So the other day, this was a few months ago. So I was like leaving the gym, and my friend calls me. And he's like, hey, I was going to go to our old high school game. Like, they're having a game at this place called Tropical Park. I was like, sure, I'll go. Well, the only fucking outfit that I had like readily available was like this tight ass Fashion Nova. It was like a long sleeve red dress. So I show up like in this dress with my friend, and he was like, so he knows like the coach is there and everything. And he said, he was like, I know that you went to spend time with me, and like, whatever, the dress wasn't a big deal. He was like, dude, like, people wouldn't come up to me. They kept texting me. They were like, yo, like, I see you're with a girl. Like, they were like, everybody was fucking weird about it. Like, I'm like, just be normal. Like, I'm a normal, like, just what, but like, I didn't mean to wear, And then as we were sitting there, right, and like you remember back to high school, so there are these girls like kind of standing where the bleachers are and like rolling their shorts up. Ugh. And like Sophie shorts, like kind of trying to like show out like, oh, I have a little body too. And, like trying to like they're trying to like they're trying to do a little dance. I was like, you think they can compete with me? And he was like, no, I don't.
He's like, absolutely not. This is not.
Yeah. Like no one at this game thinks they can either. I was like, I just like, so I've definitely like had experiences where I'm like, oh fuck, like I am definitely standing out here and fuck it, let's go. But yeah, now, for sure.
With that reminds me, have you had, what's the strangest fan interactions that you've had? Have you had any weird fan interactions? Like I had my share when I did wrestling. Like when I did my Hall of Fame show, I had a special t-shirt.
Okay. This thing, because let's compare notes, because I'm curious.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't have any t-shirts because I did mainly local wrestling, but I had my Hall of Fame shirt made up. I was sweating in the shirt all day long. Right before I went out to the ring, I poured water over my head. The shirt's completely drenched, and when I took it off, someone must have been able to grab it from underneath the bottom of the guardrail, and they put that sweat and water filled shirt on. And then when I was in the crowd greeting everybody after my match, the guy's just like, look, man, I have your shirt. Can you sign it for me? Mind you, it's an all black shirt with white lettering. And I'm like, where do you want me to sign that shirt? One, I was like, also, how did you get it? And also, I sweat in that shirt all day long. And then I wore it out to the ring and poured water over my head, and it was still soaking wet. And it was just not even thinking about it. I guess he was just so excited that I'm just kind of like, okay, well, whatever. It's yours now. Have fun. You grabbed it fair and square. So
yeah. Okay, so this is a good one, because but there's like a story behind it. Okay, so there was this guy. He's a TSA. He works in TSA at Miami International Airport. And so he was a fan of mine. Like when I first started, we would like talk on, cam and shit like that. And so like throughout the years, like he would tweet me and shit and like DM me, and he just annoyed me. So at one point I said to him, hey, like I can talk to you, but I'm going to need like this much per month, like whatever. Like I was like, I don't want to talk to you for free anymore. I'm over it. I'm done. And he basically said to me, I'm not doing that. So I muted him on Twitter. Now, fast forward to like 2 years later, I'm high as fuck going through security. I mean, high as fuck. Like I miscalculated my edible. I normally take edibles when I fly, but I miscalculated. And when I went to TSA, I was already fucking seeing stars. So I go through, okay, so like the little x-ray machine. So I go in, and this is how high I was. I still have my fucking sunglasses on and my hat on. And the dude looks at me and he's like, do you remember me? Well, he's like, give me your hat and your sunglasses. I'm like, here, I don't want them anyway. Yeah. And he's like, and then he takes his mask on. He's like, you remember me? I'm like, yeah, like very vaguely. Cause he like saw me at Exoticas. Like I've seen him in person. Like I was completely caught off guard. And I was going to see my brother, and he was like, where are you going? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. It's not like, I like freaked out. Like I was like, it's not a work trip. Goodbye. And I'm going to tell you where I'm going, bro. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I don't know why I freaked out either. Cause like, whatever.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Those edibles, they can sneak up on you. I recently just had an edible not that long ago. I think a couple weekends ago. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So I took a bite of it. Well, I don't know. I ate probably about half of it. Yeah. Went upstairs and I decided to smoke this new strain that my buddy got me called Black Diamond Kush. So I smoked some of that. The edible wasn't really quite kicking in. Then I went downstairs and all of a sudden that shit just fucking nailed me, and I was a little like staring at the fucking ceiling.
Yeah, like I tell when it starts to hit me because I'll be on my phone and all of a sudden I'll just like drop it on my fucking face, like, and I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, but I mean, I like them. I think they're nice to have, like, especially like you on a plane and stuff. Very subtle, you know.
Also, too, like I'm 31, right? So, like, for me, like I've been smoking since I was 15. So, like, you guys understand this, right? Like,
oh yeah,
10 years ago, like we had to like go behind, like we were out. Like 10 years ago, it was like crackhead status to be a pothead. It really was like you hide it, and we would go to fucking CVS and spray like, and that like this. I'd rather just not smell like weed anymore. So I prefer to take edibles, and also to. I'm kind of like an asshole a little bit. I'm kind of like one of those people like, oh, what do you have? Oh, don't worry about it. It's none of your business.
Yeah, this is mine.
I'm over here eating alone. Yeah, like, so for sure. And also too, like I'm not gonna lie, I got COVID in January and my throat has not been the same since. Like I just can't smoke more like that.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah, I had COVID about a year ago. It didn't affect me like that, but I mean, I feel like some things are a little still different. But...
Well, I think you probably were so high the whole entire time you had COVID.
That might be true.
It probably just
no, I felt like shit, honestly, when I had COVID. That was the first time I actually felt terrible. Like I knew I was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't get off the couch
on COVID that it was like it scared me.
Yeah.
Well, no, I would wake up, take an edible, because I was like, this isn't right. Like I have to eat something. Like, and I'm pretty good at knowing what my body needs. Like, so, but I didn't have an answer for this. So I would just wake up, take an edible, go back to bed. And then I would wake up around 6 when the edible would kick in and I was starving already. And then I would just eat like a bunch of soup and then just go back to bed. But I lost like 15 pounds that way.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do real quick, we're going to get into our games. So we're going to start off with a game that we call Incoherent. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a card up on the screen and it's in drunken lingo and you need to try to sound it out and figure out what it says. And if you need a couple of hints, let us know. What do you think that says? What'll help you is if you kind of say it out loud and say it fast, you'll hear yourself kind of say it.
In acid?
Would you like a hint?
Yeah.
Poop time.
Yeah?
Yeah, poop time. That's one of the hints.
Poop time.
Then there's another one.
Did someone say I have to take a shit?
It's pretty close.
It's close. It's close. I'll give that to you. It's taking a shit. So
okay.
And the other hint was the reason why you have your volume all the way up while scrolling through TikTok, because you're taking a shit. So here, let's go ahead and get the other one ready to go. And here, let me stop.
We can't do like the high version of this. Very bad.
I mean, we totally could. It's funny because the guests are always like, oh man, we wish we would have known we were playing this in advance. We would have been ready. So, all right. So let's go ahead. This is the next one. So let me just go ahead, close this out, and then I will pull up the next one right here. So what do you think this says?
Gum Dum's tour.
You know what it is.
Gum Dum's tour. Gum Dum's tour. Gum Dum's tour.
One of the hints is garbage. What'd you say?
Cum dumpster?
Yes, it's cum dumpster. And the other hint is terrible. It says gotta put the trash somewhere. And it's like, All right. And then we have one more. So we actually last week's episode, we did what we called the HHPod Rumble. And we did like kind of like if you're familiar with wrestling, we did like a Royal Rumble with 30 of our former guests for episode 100. And answering these cards was the way on whether or not they got eliminated or not. And Johnny Goodluck, I'm not sure if you know Johnny Goodluck, he won it by getting all of them right. So let me go ahead and get this.
Out drunk, not his secret.
All right, so here's this one. What do you think this one is?
Mandingo.
You know this one too, I'm sure.
Mandingo?
Mandingo. And the hints were very big and very gifted down south. So that's Incoherent. So what we're going to get into now is, have you played Cards Against Humanity?
Yes.
Okay. So we play it differently on the show. So what we're going to do is we're going to read off the black face card, and then you're going to choose a number between 1 and 5 to randomly answer that card. If you don't like the answer that you choose, you get to choose another answer. So the first one is, I can show you blank, shining, shimmering, splendid.
You got to sing it right. It's Aladdin.
What 1 through 5, what number do you choose to answer that with?
Wait, do that again.
I can show you blank, shining, shimmering, splendid. And then just choose a random number 1 through 5, like a lucky number that you think could answer that card correctly.
3.
3. All right. So 3. I can show you being emotionally and physically dominated by Gordon Ramsay, shining, shimmering, splendid. Are you happy with that answer, or would you like to choose another?
I mean, it's not my favorite answer, but fuck it. Yeah, we'll do it.
All right. So 3 is out. What number do you want now?
5.
5. All right. So 5. That's it.
I'm just like, I can't count.
All right. So I can show you a juicy little booty going poot, poot, pooty, shining, shimmering, splendid. So that's it. And some of the answers that you could have got for that were left out was cock, sucking down 1,000 pounds of krill every day, and dumping Mountain Dew Baja Blast all over my gorgeous natural titties.
I like that.
And
that'd be nice.
What I'm going to do is this is going to be the first episode where we add another layer to this. So we're going to do it again, but you're going to answer the card. You're going to ad lib the answer to the card. So I'm going to read it off again. I can show you blank, shining, shimmery, splendid. What do you think would be a good answer for that?
I can show you. I guess butthole.
Butthole, nice.
I can show you.
Is it your butthole or
yeah,
just a butthole?
Just a butthole. I can show you butthole, shining, shimmering, splendid. So we're gonna do another round. So this one. So if you can line those up, this one actually the same card answers both blanks. So it says, you want blank, ? You can't handle blank. So what do you think? 1 through 5.
I'll pick 4.
4. All right. So 4. You want falling in love with poetry? You can handle falling in love with poetry. Would you like to choose another one?
Yeah.
All right.
Not a big.
So 4 is out.
Let's do 1.
1. All right. So 1. You want getting spit on by 100 women? You can't handle getting spit on by 100 women.
Yeah. That answer. That's a great answer. I like that one.
That is a great
Now,
answer.
if you could choose an answer for that, what would you say for that?
I would say you can't handle meeting your heroes.
You can't handle. You want meeting your heroes. You can't handle meeting.
Yeah. Well, so more like, yeah, but I mean more like when you meet a celebrity and like in your head you thought they were like this person and they're not.
That's very true. I mean, I've met plenty of people that are just like,
you're like,
it doesn't go the way you think.
And what about porn related injuries? Have you had any porn related injuries?
Oh yeah.
What do you think the worst one you had was?
So this was like a few months ago. Johnny Love, he's a great guy. He takes his acting a little too fucking seriously. And I'm supposed to do this scene where like I'm struggling and I pull him, and in one of the takes, he put his whole body weight on me.
Oh,
I was like, Johnny, you can't do that. Like I have to like, bro, my shoulder was bad for a while. Like I couldn't gym. I couldn't do like push up to planks. He was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, don't do it. Do not do it again. Like, cause my arm will not be able to handle it. Like, cause I'm going to have to like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, like injuries happen all the time. My biggest fear is breaking someone's dick, honestly.
It can happen. I've seen
have you seen it happen?
No, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I've seen sex sent me to the ER. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Break them dicks.
And I'm a thicker girl, so it's normally with like thicker women, and so I'm like very careful. Like if I sit down, I'm like, "Where's your penis?" I'm like, because
yeah,
I don't want to break it.
I don't want to hurt. I don't want this to break.
Like theirs have broken, so like I don't want to do that. So I'm a little paranoid.
Imagine the rehab for that. Like you break.
Oh, you like it's broken. That's it. Like
yeah.
Oh, what was it?
It's just muscle, so it would just stay. Whatever, which way you broke it.
Yeah. And what was it? The show The New Girl. Have you ever seen The New Girl?
Yeah.
Oh, I love The New Girl. Wait, we're talking about HBO Max.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to see Minx because the guy who plays her love interest, Nick, played pornographer in the 70s.
Really? Oh, yeah. I love that dude's the best. I gotta watch that.
And then
awesome.
Winning Time on HBO. Have you seen it yet?
No.
So it's about the Lakers. I know we all hate the Lakers, but no one hates the Lakers more than I do. But it's so interesting. Like, it's so interesting to go back. And, I'm like, so Pat Riley is in it. Adrian Brody plays Pat Riley. It's so good. Like, it's so fucking good. And most of them look like the players of that time. Like, it's about like basically when Doc bought the team.
Okay.
When recruited from college, and it's that storyline.
That's good. I gotta check that out because I do like documentaries.
John Riley. I know you two know who John C. Riley is. Fucking fans of him because he's hilarious. He deserves every fucking award that you can get for that. He is so good at certain points. My friend and I were talking. I was like, I have to like stop because I feel like because him. He's so good at playing him. It's like disgusting.
It's like, oh my God. Like I feel disgusting after watching this role. Like thanks for like making me able to watch it. Like he's so good. Like I hope he gets every award ever because he deserves it. Well, speaking of shows, and of course we've brought this show up a couple of times. If you have Netflix, there's a show called Brand New Cherry Flavor. If you have not checked that out,
it's like, I've heard. I tried to get into it, but I'll
Have you made it to episode 4 yet?
No.
You are in for a big treat when you make it to episode 4, because it is the weirdest, most twisted shit I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, people made TikTok videos of them reacting to, I'll just say, to the sex scene that happens in Brand New Cherry Flavored episode 4. I believe it's 35 minutes in. Just fast forward to 35 minutes in. It's not far past the chick giving birth to a cat. So if you pass by that scene, then you know you're almost there. So I thought a New Girl, because the one guy, I forgot his name, the guy who dresses all nice, he broke his dick in the show, and I remember that. Like,
Schmidt.
Yes. Schmidt broke his dick in the show, and I remember that. And the one kept on fucking with him the whole time when he had his dick.
And like, it's funny because I discovered the New Girl like around quarantine, and I was just like watching it, and I was like, this is fucking fake. Like I was like, I love that they're giving people hope, but you should put the cast. It doesn't happen.
Is that what happened? They put it in a cast?
Yeah.
No, it just
yeah. Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, there's not much.
It's just.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could put like a stent, like a
stent.
I don't know, something like a
finger splint.
A splint. That's what I meant. A splint. I'm sorry, not a stent.
Oh. Well,
I don't. Girls don't break dudes' dicks, and guys don't break your dick. It's not fun.
Actually, we meant to ask, what was it earlier we were talking about with the Jewish? What was that?
The rabbi.
Yeah. We were talking about earlier, like, how dedicated Jewish people are, like how the rabbis have like those little rabbi curls, like they'll have like shaved head, but they have like a patch of hair that comes down. And it's like the little rabbi curl. If you were to hook up with somebody and you took their pants off and their balls had the rabbi curls hanging, like, would you just be like, no, or would you just kind of lift it out of the way and just work around it? Because like, when I was younger, I had long curly hair.
Like, wait, so he's manscaped everywhere but there?
Yeah.
Yes. It's like basically like hanging off the bottom of his testicles.
As someone who likes to fuck with people, I respect it. And also too, sometimes like there's a reason. Like, maybe there was an ingrown hair or something and they didn't want to shave there. Yeah, I would do it. Like, trust me, like, I've had fucked up pubic, and still fucked. Yeah, like.
We were talking about when I was in high school, I had really long, like, curly blonde hair, and like my hair was almost like Curly Sue's hair.
Oh,
like how curly it was. Like it was insane. And I sat there and I thought, when I was in high school, I'm like, is my pubic hair going to be like this too? Like, I don't want this to happen. Like, no. And we're going to let you go in a little bit. Before you go, of course, we like to ask all of the adult film stars that are on, if you've done any, if you could do any 2 porn parodies, what 2 would you do? And it could be anything, video game, anything. It could help.
Kill Bill.
Okay.
Kill Bill. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That'd be a good one.
I like that.
And Lara Croft.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
Like, they're badasses, but also too, like, I can play a badass character. Like, I'm not, I'm not sure if I can play Elle Woods, you know what I mean? But like, I know I can kick some ass.
Yeah. Now, what about like a pro wrestling porn parody? Would you do something like that? Because you said
but like,
that'd be fun.
Well, I don't do the lift and carry thing anymore. So like, I know there's like choreography involved. Like, if I'm lifting you up, dude, you better be less than 100 pounds soaking wet. I'm serious. Like,
you know what's funny? I am 260 pounds, and I guarantee you I could have you pick me up and it would be like a feather. And that's the whole thing. Like, that's the magic of pro wrestling, is that if you know how to post and do everything the right way, like when someone goes for a body slam, I should be able to open my arms like this, and that guy stays in that position for that body slam before I slam him down. And that's the whole thing. Like, it's crazy how that stuff works. So
yeah, because the other day, like, we were doing it in a scene, like we were doing it like we were doing our scene like basically on workout equipment, and like, so I was like going like this, but like kind of had to prop myself up like on the, you know, the lat pull down machine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Had to put, everybody was like, okay, Joslyn's really strong. We have to put the weight like all the way down because she's pull that thing down. And then the PA was like, yo, your back is jacked. I was like, well, thank you. I will tell my trainer that. But like, it's so, like, I can't wait to see how that scene comes out, because like, it was just crazy. We were just like doing crazy shit in there, and he was, so it'll definitely, but yeah, I mean, we do a lot of that too. Like, porn is a lot kind of like wrestling a little bit, because
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's improving. It's, you know, a storyline. It's like,
yeah,
yeah.
it is. Like, everybody, like when I first started, like all my friends, like I knew this couple actually who, like, they would post like free videos on Pornhub, and they were like, oh, we don't make any money. And I was like, because you can't see shit. I was like, I hate to tell you this, but this is why you leave this shit to professionals. Yeah. I was like, I can't see shit. Like, and you guys aren't opening up. I can't see shit. Like, and people don't even think about that. But like, everyone says that to me. Like, I have fans all the time email me, oh, hey, like, I want to shoot a video for you for your OnlyFans. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Actor, like, gets fucking pissed at you because you can't do your, like, you can't keep your fucking dick hard. You can't come when he wants you to. And he's fucking trying to like smoke. Like, good luck, because it's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of pressure. Like, everyone thinks they can do it until they're called to do it.
I get people all the time when, you know, I'm retired now. I've been retired for about 3 years now. I would get people all the time and be like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can get in. And I'd be like, all right, come on down to the wrestling school, get in the ring. We'll give you 20 minutes. And I guarantee you won't make it past the falls, because learning the falls is the first. And a lot of people cannot learn the 3 basic falls. They're like, oh, well, we just thought you got in the ring and wrestle. We're like, no, there's a lot to this, a lot.
Like, so, and that's the thing, like, right? Like, and that's like, I don't go up to an accountant and say, oh, you're shit at your job, I can do your job better. I've done that in a million years. But because, you know, we're sort of public figures, everyone says, oh, I can do a better job. I'm like, okay, sure, drop trout and do it right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And, you know, also with what you do also is working the camera is a big thing also. Like, you need to know where the cameras are and working the camera. Like, we were always told, hard cameras over here, always work the hard cam. Or if you're sitting there choking a guy on the ropes and you see the camera, you just start wrenching them down more right in front of the camera, looking into the camera. You know, it's so much that goes into everything that gets recorded, whether it's porn, wrestling, football, baseball, you know, movies, TV shows, you know, it's.
Yeah. So it's, for sure. Like, it's just interesting to be on like this side of it now. And, you know, there's like different things you have to think about that normal people like don't think about, but, you know, it's our job to know that and to do it and be good at it, because if everybody could do it, then we'd be out of jobs.
Oh yeah.
So
it's not for everybody. And Joslyn, what we're going to go ahead and let you get out of here soon. Can you tell us where everybody can find you, where your social medias are, you know, in case there's that weird guy out there that's like, oh, I need to find her and track her down. Like, you know, what are your socials?
Yeah. So my Instagram is, Love Joss Jane, LOVEJOSJANE. That's my Instagram. And then my Twitter is @XXX Joslyn. And Joslyn is spelled JOSLYN. And my OnlyFans is onlyfans.com/Joslyn Jane. And my ManyVids is officerjane.manyvids.com.
Everybody, make sure you go over, check out Joslyn, subscribe to her OnlyFans, subscribe to her ManyVids, and we're going to go ahead and let you get out of here. Of course, next week we will be back right here on YouTube Live at 8:00 p.m., same time. And our featured guest is Natasha Nice. So Natasha will be joining us right here on the show. And right here for YouTube Live, we're going to wrap up. And Joslyn, real quick, before you go, would you just be able to say this is Joslyn Jane and you're listening to the Happy Hour podcast?
Yeah.
All right, let me just hit this real quick. And that way, cool. If you can just go ahead and do that for us right now.
This is Joslyn Jane, and you're watching the Happy Hour podcast.
Awesome. Thanks, Joslyn. We appreciate it. Keep in contact with us. What we normally do is we normally try to get a shirt out to our guests. We're a little backed up on our guest shirts, but we definitely want